Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It is me, Danyell Carmelita. Well, I usually do the intro that I am Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer, but we'll just say professional astrologer and tarot reader because I'm doing a video on books. And I normally do videos on astrology and tarot, but today we are diving into books. And how does that correlate, you ask me? Well, stay and you shall see.
3, 2, 1.
I love you.
I am doing books through the lens of astrology. Well, if you've been following me, you already know that I do predictions, I break down current events, and I go into deep astrological insights. But what you may not know is that this channel, 12 years ago, I used to do book talks. Well, no, there weren't book talks at the time, so just book reviews. I used to do somewhat of a digital book club, and I would do my TBR, my book haul, and all the book terms that we normally use. And that was actually last time Jupiter was in Gemini. And Jupiter is currently in Gemini now. And if you didn't know, I'm a Sagittarius rising. And if you know anything about astrology, Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. So wherever Jupiter goes, normally that's where I go. However, with that said, I have a Mars in Gemini. I have a Venus in Gemini. And if you know anything about Gemini, that means that they're usually into book conversations, a lot of words. So with that said, it doesn't matter if you're into astrology or if you're just here for books, I tie them both together. And I'm bringing the book reviews and a book discussion back. And because I have that Mars in Gemini and that Venus in Gemini, I naturally love diving into all the topics. If I could, this would be a cooking channel, an art channel. It would just be a whole lot. But for right now, we're going to stick to the books. And we're going to keep doing astrology and tarot, so don't worry. So whether you're here for just book recommendations, this is a good video for you, or astrological breakdowns with the books, then this is also good for you. But if you love this, please give a thumbs up because that shows me that I am doing an amazing job with my content and you enjoy the diversity of what I do. And this is the first episode of my Zodiac Reads, Books Aligned with the Stars. Now, today's episode is Pisces season. It is officially, as of today, as I'm filming this, February 20th. However, it doesn't matter when you are listening to this because we're all individually different, especially when you pull out our natal chart. So you could be more into the 12th house themes, which is also considering Pisces themes as well. These are just Pisces themes books. Now, because each zodiac sign is around 4 weeks, I've decided to break each zodiac sign down into 4 parts. So since we are doing Pisces, and Pisces is one of the most mystical, imaginative, and the most emotional, deep zodiac sign ever. And it's so weird that I'm starting off with Pisces because Pisces is at the end of the zodiac. So there are some themes of endings as well. But Pisces is also ruled by Neptune. And Neptune is the planet that is all about dreams and illusions, creativity, and love. So Pisces season also is about the fog and getting lost. So you can literally get lost in a book. It also blurs the line from reality to fantasy. So there's a lot of fantasy talk during Pisces energy or Pisces season. Now, also escapism, addictions, all that is involved with Pisces energy. So all those things will be discussed within these books. Now, each week I will be breaking down the different themes. And so I try to categorize them so the books can make sense within the themes. So this week we are talking about books that are about escapism. That also is considered addiction because you use addiction to escape. So any books that are about drugs are not really wanting to face reality. Also this week we are talking about illusions, things that are not quite what they seem, and it could be deception. And lastly, within this theme of this week, we are talking about secrets. So all those things to me connect because you're talking about hidden truths and not wanting to face those truths. You're talking about deception and blurred reality. The second week, we're going to be having books about dreams, fantasy, and imagination. On the third week, it's about love and romance. It's very Pisces energy, even like your soulmate. Yeah. The last week, I kind of made a little miscellaneous week. So it is about creativity, sensitivity, and water. We'll get into that when we get there. But right now, let's talk about the deception, the illusions, escapism, and secrets. Now, actually, before we even get into that, I want to have some titles that are very Pisces energy, just so you know. These are my honorable mentions before we even start. First one is The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides. I may not say the last name of the authors because I don't want to butcher their last name. He actually wrote a book called The Marriage Plot, which I really loved, but this one is about suicide and that's very Pisces theme. In a quiet suburb of Detroit, the 5 lesbian sisters, beautiful, eccentric, and obsessively watched by the neighborhood boys, commit suicide one by one over the course of a single year. I read this book already and I'm gonna tell you it's a little bit sad. Not a little bit. You just heard what it's about. It's sad, okay? The author is a great writer, so I had to mention this book. Then She Was Gone, right? Pisces is very like, where did they go? You will kind of see there could be a blurred line, which Pisces is very blurred lines between Scorpio energy and Pisces. Of course, they're both water sign. Scorpio is more of like mystery and solving a mystery, but Pisces sometimes things are hidden and sometimes you need that Scorpio energy. So you kind of see that blurred line. Anyway, but this is Then She Was Gone. It's about Ellie Mack was the perfect daughter and then she was gone. 10 years later, Ellie's disappearance, her mother, Lori Mack, is trying to put her life back together when she meets an unexpected, charming man in a cafe. Before she knows it, she's meeting Floyd's daughter and his youngest, Poppy, takes Laurel's breath away. Anyway, it's about a girl who's missing in high school and then years later, there's a story plot that comes back and I don't want to give too much away, but there's more to the story and there's deception and secrets, which is very Pisces energy. I read this book and after I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to call my daughters because I love them so much. My oldest is 23, so I called her, and my youngest is still living with me. So I just had to make sure she was still in the bed. But that means that it's a good author. So there you go. Not my type of book, but because it really got into my mind, I'm going to say it's a great book. This one, off of the title alone, The Invisible Man. Now, he's not literally invisible, but he is because he's black, okay? This is by Ralph Ellison. I read this book in junior high. I kind of remember the book, but because of the title alone, it's an honorable mention. I actually don't remember what this book is about. Let me see. This book is about identity, race, and social invisibility. It follows an unnamed black man, an unnamed black narrator, as he struggles to find his place in the world. And people refuse to see him, which is very Pisces energy. It's about realism, and there's some political things in here. But this is very Pisces energy. I remember reading this book in junior high, and I don't even remember the plot, and really like loving it and still having the book in my head when I was walking the hallways of school and going to my locker. So I'm gonna reread this actually. Last honorable mention is Kate Morton, The Secret Keeper. This is just based off of the title alone. And of course, secrets, we already know that that is the theme of Pisces energy, and it's the secret keeper. During a picnic at her family's farm in the English countryside, 16-year-old Laura Nicholson witnesses a shocking crime, a crime that challenges everything she knows about her adored mother. This is her last chance to discover the truth about the long ago day. Clue by clue, she traces a secret history of the 3 strangers. Ooh, in London. I haven't read this. I don't know anything about this. So let me know if you read this, if you think this is a good book. It is a New York Times bestseller, so I am interested in reading this. Okay, so talk about some books that are really, really hardcore into Pisces energy. Some genres that are really good with this theme are psychological thrillers, gothic and dark books, academia, anything dealing with magic, so magic realism, and books with unreliable narratives, okay? So let's get into the thrillers. And usually when you're thinking psychological, I'm just gonna tell you, you're thinking about more Scorpio energy, but because we are in the we're lost as a reader and we don't know what's going on, that could be more of a Pisces. For psychological thrillers, the first one is The Silent Patient. If you don't know, this is a very popular book. I love this book. My mom actually recommended me this book years ago. And it's about Alison Barrison. Life is seemingly perfect until one night when her husband, Gabriel, returns home late from work and Alison shoots him 5 times in the face and then she never speaks a word. Silent energy is very Pisces too. Alicia refuses to talk or give any explanation, turns a domestic tragedy to a mystery that captures the public imagination, and she is a silent patient. Is hidden away from tabloids at the Grove. A secure psychiatric unit is also involved in this book. Psychiatric unit is very Pisces energy, so this is a perfect book to read during Pisces season. I already want to give you the rating for this book. I have a 5-star rating for this book. It is a very popular book for a reason. It is so good. There was something unexpected, I think, that happened at the end, but maybe it won't be so unexpected for you, but it was unexpected for me. Another thriller book, and again, the word gone is in this book, and it's called Gone Girl, and it's by Gillian Flynn. And of course, someone's gone, someone's missing, very Pisces energy, right? This actually was my first thriller book that I really read, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I love thrillers. I wanted to read every thriller after this book. It was their 5th wedding anniversary. Presents are being wrapped and reservations are being made when Nick's clever and beautiful wife just disappear. About a wife who goes missing, and the husband thought there's illusion involved, there's secrets, there's also a diary involved. Also too, she was like she had the perfect image, but that's also was an illusion as well. This book is so perfect for Gone Girl. Cool girl persona meets deadly secrets. And I rate that book a 5, if you didn't know. Now, this was my second Stephen King book, and it is called The Shining by Stephen King. And the reason why this is in the Pisces season is because there's solitude. This person also gets addicted to alcohol. So there's addiction. He's an alcoholic, and he goes off and is isolated at a hotel. And it's also winter. Pisces is winter season. So it's all perfect. It's in the snow. And he goes to a hotel and he's trying to figure out, I think, the murder of this hotel. I read this years ago. Jack Torrance's new job of the Overlook Hotel is a perfect chance for a fresh start. As the off-season caretaker at this atmosphere old hotel, he'll have plenty of time to spend reconnecting with his family and working on his writing. But as the harsh winter weather sets in, he feels more remote, which is very Pisces energy, and more sinister. And the only one to notice the strange and terrible forces gathering around the Overlook Hotel is Danny Torrance, a uniquely gifted 5-year-old. Ooh, I wonder if the 5-year-old had some signs too, which is also very Pisces energy. Thought this was a very easy read, and if you're into Stephen King or you haven't read any Stephen King books, I would say start with this one because it wasn't too scary, because I am a scary person. Also, I started to read the book It because I got it from the library and then I had to return it. And that's when I was like, oh my gosh, Stephen King is a great writer. But this was the second book that I actually finished with Stephen King. The first book I read by Stephen King is Mr. Mercedes, but I don't think he wrote that all by himself. So this one is officially the first book. Now we're going to talk about magic, a book that's dealing with some magic. I actually have a few books on this, but that's dealing with magic alone, okay? And you're talking about dreamlike magical realism. If I can remember any books that I've read that's about magic, I'll put them up, but these are the 2 that just came to my mind. The first one, I can't even not mention a book about magic without this, and this is The Night Nurse, and a magical competition between illusionists, but what is at cost. This is about, I think, 2 people who trying to win, I think, a contest from what I remember, and it's a guy and a girl, and I think they even fall in love. It's also dealing with a circus that disappears every single night. It's a great book. It's an easy read. I don't remember there being pictures in here. I'm like, are there pictures in this book? I don't remember that, but I did read this a long time ago, and it's definitely about magic, and it's a great, great book. So if you're into magical books, then I would suggest reading this. Now, this one is a new read, and I just recently finished this book as of last month, like a week ago. And this is called Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, okay? A woman makes a deal to live longer or to live free. She doesn't want to be held back by marriage, which is also somewhat of a Pisces thing, to be captive of some sort, but she's also forgotten by everyone, which is very Pisces thing. So she walks into the room and they see her and they talk to her, but as soon as if I walk out the room or she walks out the room, they totally forget her and she has to start all over again. Also, there is, I would say he's the devil, the deal with the devil, and Pisces energy could be dealing with that unknown entity, and also kind of like occult kind of energy. But there is this energy of mysticism. There is this energy of like surreal, not realistic kind of reality. Yes, it is written very well. I don't like themes about devils, I have to tell you, but because you wrote this book in such a great manner, and it's a subject that I've never read about, I would say that this book is amazing. 5-star read for me. I can understand why so many people recommended it. I bought a special edition because I actually read this on my Kindle. Now, this book I have not read, and this book is also about magic. It's called The Children of Blood and Bone, okay? This is a YA book, and my friend was with me as I was at the bookstore today, and she told me to get this book. They killed my mother. They took our magic. They tried to bury us. Now we rise, okay? First of all, it's really cool. A black character in this book. It's about Zelly. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. Remembers when the soil of Orisha hummed with magic. Burners ignite flames. Tiders beckoned waves, and Zella's mother summoned forth souls. But everything changed once magic disappeared. Zelly has one chance to bring back her magic. Yes, so I am curious to read this. This one has spread edges, which we love. Okay. This is also part of a big book series, so I think this is book 1. Also, we have books about secret things that are about mystery. Also, there's a book called The Catherine House, and it's by Elizabeth Thomas, and about a prestigious school with dark cult-like secrets. That is very, very Pisces energy. Now, a book that I'm going to read that is also very Pisces energy, and it is called Chaos. And in this book, it is a national bestseller, and it's about Charles Manson, the CIA, and the secret history of the 60s. We're already talking about secrets. You're also talking about psychedelics, which is also about Pisces energy. I already started some notations here. I finished this book within a few days, but it gets a little bit too dark for me, so I have to pause on it. But yes, so this book I would definitely be finished and give you the update on this book. This is very Pisces theme as well. And then lastly, another book that I'm reading that's very Pisces theme, and it's also dealing with winter, and it's actually on my Kindle, my phone. This book is on my Kindle, and it's called The Frozen River. And this book, let me see. This book is very fitting because it's in the winter, which Pisces season is during the winter time. There is also secrets involved in this book. This is a historical mystery based on true events following Martha Ballard, a midwife and a healer. Healer is so perfect because that's very Pisces. Pisces and Virgos are the healers of the Zodiac. She becomes entangled in a murder mystery investigation, and it shakes her community. She's a respected midwife. She's a healer, and she delivers babies. And I've only gotten to the first chapter because this book I could read at night. I don't know why. So I feel like, okay, this is not gonna ruin my sleep. Yes, there is a frozen body of a man that comes into a lake, and now she is investigating this corruption. Already with the first 2 chapters, there's some secret agendas, and there's some hidden things that you already get. I love the way the book is written already, so I'm excited to finish this book, and I'll let you know what I feel about this book, the rating of this book as well. And then also too, we have The Girl on a Train. This is also very Pisces energy book, right? So you're talking about someone who is, again, drinking alcohol, so there's substance abuse. You have someone who is confusing reality versus is she drunk? Is this real? She's not sure. She starts to see people every day on the train and thinks she even knows them because she sees them every day. She even starts to feel like she knows them. Jess and Jason, she calls them. Their life as she sees it is perfect, not unlike the life she recently lost. Sees something shocking. It's only a minute until the train moves on, but it's enough. Now everything's changed. Unable to keep it to herself, Rachel goes to the police. I remember her being an alcoholic. She thinks she knows these people, but she doesn't know these people. So there's illusions here. Yes, it gets a little Virgo, right? If you're talking about someone who has the same routine every day. However, it has nothing to do with Virgo energy. Virgo is actually the opposite sign of Pisces, so they could be hand in hand. But I don't remember having any Virgo energy in this. I thought this was an easy read. I think you can finish, if you're an avid reader, you can finish this in a day. If you're not, this is still an easy read. It's a great read to read in a winter as well. So that's what I have for my first week of Pisces themes book. And next week, we get more into the dreams and we get into the fantasy books, which I think is a very popular TikTok genre, but more about imagination. If you're into astrology, I have a community just based on astrology. I go into detail on reading astrology charts. I also do tarot readings every day and weekly readings. Now, if you're like, okay, that may be too much, I have a newsletter and it gives you astrological breakdowns weekly. It is completely free and it's available in a link down below. If you're like, wow, I'm so curious about astrology, I've never had my chart read, you could book a reading with me, or you can purchase my ebook, and that link is down below. And the ebook is only $4.99 because we are talking about books, we are talking about reading, and it will be perfect for you, and you can break down your own chart. And that link is down below. I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye bye.